Good morning, my lovelies, and welcome to Wednesday Wisdom Live. I am just going back to my notes because I tend to get off track. And this is a really good one today. Really, really important for spiritual growth. So when you come on, please say hello so I can make sure I can see the comments. We're talking about chakras today. So say hello so I can see you and I can see the comments. And during this, I would love you to ask questions. So if you've got any questions, please pop them in and I will answer them as we go. So we're talking about unbalanced chakras. And it's important to know that our chakras, it's like a wheel. That's what a chakra means. So energy comes in. Hi, Christine. Energy comes in and energy flows out. So through our body, our chakras, if there are any that are unbalanced, they affect, hi Ramina, they affect other areas of our body as well. So I'm going to talk today about unbalanced chakras, and next week we're talking about how to find what sense they're related to and how to find the symptoms of unbalanced, okay? So it's important to know what happens with an underactive and with an overactive chakra. Hi, Wendy. So let's start off with the root chakra, shall we? Hi, Jenny. Let's start off with the root chakra. So the root chakra is, if it's underactive, so it's not performing as good as it should. It's not at its peak, its optimum. We will lack energy. We suffer from anxiety. We'll have fear of worldwide events. So things that come, it's like fear and dread. It's full of dread. We overreact to things that are happening in the world. We have a lack of security because our root chakra is all about safety and security. So, hi Sonia. We have a lack of security and we lack money, or we fear that we'll never have enough money. It's very much rooted in our base chakra, our root system, our root chakra, money stories. We feel disconnected to a lot of things. We can't be bothered, in other words. And we're very much ungrounded. So the root chakra is much more about grounding ourselves. It's all about foundations. So if we don't have solid foundations, the rest of our body is not going to work. So what happens if it's overactive? If we've got too much energy in there? It's not good to have not enough, and it's not good to have too much either. We make decisions that are based on fear. Rather than procrastinating, we make a decision based on fear. We suffer from heightened depression or severe depression. Our focus is laser, single focused. We don't want to hear anybody else's opinions. We focus on one thing and that's it. Just whatever's going on in our life at the time. Or we may be focused on that world event. Morning, LRH, my love. We are never satisfied. Never satisfied. We are very materialistic and we become cynical about other people and their achievements. In other words, we want to pull them down. We become greedy or aggressive. We hoard things. Hi, Lily, my love. You're up late. We become power hungry. We are very overindulgent and we disrespect Mother Earth. So I'm not saying that's us, you and I. I'm saying if you think about people who throw things out the window, just discard their litter, where's their root chakra? Very overactive. So how can we help to bring this into balance? With movement. Get dancing. Swing those hips. Do meditation. Meditation always helps, especially a root chakra-based meditation. Breathe into your root chakra. Live mindfully. So be mindful about what you're eating and as you're eating. Be mindful about things in your daily life. And use crystals. I haven't told you which crystal to use, but that will be another one. It's important that I keep on track here, so I've got notes. Your sacral chakra, the next one. If it's underactive, you're bored. You're always looking for the next best thing. Yep, that was great. I signed up for that. I did half of that. Now I'm bored. What else can excite me? Keep me up. You get overwhelmed by your emotions. And that can be sadness. It can be happiness. It can be overwhelmed by bringing out anger and frustration in others. You feel guilt and shame. Guilt about things in your life, and shameful about things you've done in your life or doing at the moment. You feel blocked or without creativity. You're not creative at all. You fear embarrassment, and you suffer from embarrassment. And because this is related to, the sacral chakra is related to pleasure, you have sexual issues. You're either disconnected sexually, you can't be bothered, low libido, or you have fear of intimacy. You feel isolated. So that's an underactive one. An overactive one is over-emotional. You get emotional about anything, cry at the drop of a hat. You suffer from sexual promiscuity, and you become manipulative. So I want you to just think about these, because when I talk about them, if there are any that resonate with you, you know that that's when you need to do work on that particular thing. I told you what to do for the root chakra because it's very important. I'm not telling you what to do for the others. I'm just getting you this week to look at what is going on with you, if there's something that's not right. If you've got a question, pop it below and I will answer. Your solar plexus, which is up above your belly button. If it's underactive, you don't have any willpower. You just can't be bothered. You lack confidence. Well, when it's no willpower, you don't have willpower to make decisions for yourself as well. You lack confidence. You procrastinate. You you keep making excuses. You can't make decisions, I was going to say, but you keep making excuses for why you're not making decisions or making things happen. You're always blaming others. It wasn't my fault. Nothing to see here. And we all know there's lots of people out there in power that do that sort of thing. You don't complete things. You start things and never finish them. You work without achieving anything. So you're always doing, and you end up being burnt out. You have low self-esteem, and this is very much about how you see yourself in this chakra. Low self-esteem. You feel powerless to change things, and you have an inferiority complex. Pretty sad, really. If it's overactive, and this is a very common one, you have anger issues. You're stubborn. Stubborn in a bad way. In a way that's wanting to control everything, the outcomes of everything, even the things that you have no control over. So wanting to control what others do and how they make choices. You're very critical, overly critical. Nobody can do anything right. You're perfectionistic with yourself and you expect everyone else to be perfect too and do things perfectly. You're power hungry and you're very domineering. Not very nice, eh? Then the heart chakra. The heart chakra, the centre of our being. So if it's underactive, you're unbalanced in relationships. Your relationships are one way, one-sided, either good or bad. And you tend to go for toxic relationships, relationships that don't do any good for you, but it's a relationship nonetheless. You have trust issues with yourself and others. Lack of self-love. You can't let go of the past, especially past relationships. You're always wondering, what if I'd done that? Why did he leave me or why did she leave me? It wasn't my fault. And you suffer from heightened grief. And I'm not disparaging grief suffering, because grief is whatever it is for however long it takes us to get through. But you suffer more than others if you've got an underactive heart chakra. So if you're not not loving yourself enough, you'll grieve for others more. You lack empathy. I could say something about this, one of our ex-politicians at the moment, because that's a bit like what he's displaying. You're bitter, you're hateful, and you're intolerant. That's pretty awful. So it's not saying you've got all these things, it's saying you may have one or two, which means even one means it's unbalanced. If it's overactive, you suffer from jealousy. You're codependent, so you can't do things without somebody else giving you the okay. Or you need to have somebody in your life. You can't do things by yourself. You're an overgiver. You're always giving to other people before you give to yourself. Seeking approval. And you're a people pleaser. So you want to be loved. And by pleasing other people, doing things for them, you think that's going to make you loved. The throat chakra, underactive. Inability to adequately express yourself. Well, that's obvious because your throat is your communication channel. Lack of confidence when you speak, so you don't want to get up and speak. You hide from your own truth. You can't speak your truth. You can't say what you really feel. You don't speak up for yourself. What you have to say doesn't matter. Fear of following your purpose. You don't want to follow what you know is your heart's desire because you're fearful that people will judge you. You're misunderstood because you can't speak your words properly. You become secretive because you don't want to share, because no one listens to you anyway, because you can't speak it adequately. And you don't listen. Because people don't listen to you, because you can't express yourself, you don't listen to others. If you're overactive in the throat chakra, you're very opinionated, you're very loud. We all know a lot of loud people. You're very critical of others. You gossip, or you love gossip. And you talk over others, so you don't listen to what others are saying. Don't value what they have to say. You have a tendency to yell rather than speak. And you use harsh words. Instead of using nice, expressive, loving words, use harsh words. So think about what you say before you say it, is one that I always say. Your third eye, if that's underactive, you have poor judgment. You can't see beyond the third dimension. You can't see beyond this physical plane. You lack focus. You keep repeating past behaviours because you can't see what's not there to see with these eyes. And you keep repeating past behaviours that lead you absolutely nowhere. So you start off and you do the same thing and you get the same result. You have obsessive thoughts or behaviours. You're stuck in your everyday routine rather than seeing the big picture of the potential of your life, what you came here to do. You can't make decisions. You ignore your intuition. You can't see. You're stuck in the same old routine. Every day is a drudgery. That's an underactive one. An overactive one, and this is very important, you have nightmares. You have delusions, hallucinations, and obsessive thoughts. And you are obsessive about everything. So third eye is the window to the spirit realm and to your higher self. So your crown chakra, the last one, if it's underactive, you can't meditate. You feel lost on your spiritual path. You can't find peace. You have depression. You have learning difficulties. You might be looking at doing some study or reading a book, and you read a paragraph and you put the book down, you come back and you read the same paragraph and you have no idea that you read that again until you get to the end because it's not sinking in. Have brain fog. You can't think clearly. You just can't. And believe it or not, hello Kathy, an underactive crown chakra is obsessed with spirituality. You want so much to move forward, but you just can't because you haven't got this. So if this is underactive, I will bet you my bottom dollar, my last dollar, that your root chakra is overactive because it will be pulling this one down. If your crown chakra is overactive, you lack empathy, you're unable to connect, you have insomnia, high blood pressure, you're always sleeping, or you can't sleep, as I said, insomnia. You have feelings of superiority, you think you're better than other people, or you judge other people with what they're doing. You're self-destructive. So you go on a path of addictions and codependent behaviours, obsessive behaviours. You're trying to, in other words, you're trying to block out your spiritual path. You become judgmental. You're not grounded because your root chakra is going to be underactive. And you become dogmatic. You know, like the people who stand on the corner and sprout the word of God. And nothing against the word of God, but the people who sprout that, they're becoming dogmatic. They're forcing it down people's throats, and that's not what you need to do. So, for all of these, I'm going to say, meditate, use movement, crystals, look to your sleep patterns and good diet, and let things go. So, I hope you've enjoyed this one this morning because, as I said, next week is, I've just got to have a look again. Next week is all about your chakras, the symptoms, as in which areas of your body, so which organs they will affect, which senses are related to them, and which crystals to use to heal. So, hope you're looking forward to that one. Any questions, pop them down below and I will happily answer them. So thank you so much for joining me today for Wednesday Wisdom Live, and I love talking to you on here. I will see you next week. Bye for now.